just like that, they buy it. They eat it up. You pander to them, you thank them. I mean, really, people, I thought you were a little bit smarter than that. I mean, it's just so easy to say the name of the city. You cheer.
Hey, Stephanie,
you cheer. I mean, just come on.
Welcome to the A Show.
Welcome, everybody. We are back. We are here. This is the A Show, episode 109, the meeting of worlds. I'm here with, we got a packed room tonight. I mean, we got...
You didn't call us the Kings of Pro Wrestling podcast, so it does not exist.
First of all, I didn't get to that yet. So can I do your intro before you step in and do your intro?
Yes.
This is the Kings of Professional Wrestling podcast.
I hate when my parents fight.
Oh my God, we're here. Okay, so we have a packed house. If you've seen on Twitter, you know who's going to be in here. We have first off. Let me introduce him first. He is the Rudo of the professional wrestling world himself. He is the most hated man on the internet. My co-host, Justin Davis, easily the most hated man on the internet. What do you have to say for yourself?
Stay mad, nerd. I go outside, have tons of sex, make money, and my life is very interesting.
All right. That's it. We have also on the line, I would like to say Black CrossFit Jesus.
For sure. For damn sure.
Oh, okay, that's not me then.
Oh, yeah, for sure not. We have none other than MJ. MJ, what do you have to say for yourself?
Sean Spears, if you're listening to this, probably not, but your matches are still no good, man. I'm sorry.
No, he probably is listening. He loves us. He loves us a lot.
And then we have the king of the deathmatch himself, the man who loves him, Psycho Cyrus himself.
Oh, wow.
What do you have to say for yourself?
I like that nickname a lot.
Psycho Cyrus. Listen, feel free to use it on Twitter or anything like that. But we are here. We have a full packed house. It's the entire A Show channel right here. And that is between all of our three shows. That includes the A Show that you're listening to now. That includes the War Report, where you can listen to it every Friday on the A Show RNC network. And then also Spot Callers, which, when are we getting the next episode of that?
We're recording next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. See, you don't have to wait that much longer
Yeah.
For a new episode of Spot Callers. But what we are here to call is professional wrestling over the last week, and we have a mega prediction show that includes what we're doing is the predictions for NXT Takeover War Games. So that's a big part.
A lot of predicting for that.
Yes.
It might be some booking for that too.
I mean, listen, hashtag Meelz Booking is here. He's prepared. He's ready to go. We also have Survivor Series 2019. All of this will be taking place in Chicago. First of all, before we get into anything, we have to kind of talk about, we're going to do No Holds Barred. I don't know how long we'll get into this, but No Holds Barred, we dropped off last week. I called Justin Davis at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
to talk about CM Punk's return that I fell asleep for. Yeah, I fell asleep for it. I did. As soon as we got off this podcast, I fell asleep. Because I'm an old man. But CM Punk is here. He's ready to be as controversial as ever. I mean, the check has been signed, the ink has been dried, so he's ready to kind of resume operations of where he left off 5 years ago as a talking head. What do we think thus far? I mean, by the time the show goes off the air, he'll be talking. Maybe we can listen to a little bit of as we do the show. But what does everybody think of CM Punk? Anyone, please jump in.
I think that I don't know if you guys saw the backstage video of backstage that they put out a couple of days ago with him on the way to the set. But I mean, he looked genuinely excited to do it. He looked genuinely happy to do it. He was nervous. He expressed that he was nervous. He had not been in the space for such a long time. And, I think that, again, there are a lot of people that are very upset about this. And I'm sure we're going to get into this in a little bit of length here, but that are really upset that he's coming back in some way, shape, or form to talk about this industry and to primarily talk about the biggest company in the world.
I mean, I think most people are mad about him kind of disowning himself from professional wrestling and then everyone kind of welcoming him back with open arms. I mean, I hate to say, I knew this would happen.
It's definitely the company that he went back to.
Oh, yeah.
It wouldn't be as much backlash, if he went anywhere else.
To be honest, I think they would have been backlash if he went to AEW as well.
Yeah, maybe, but not like overwhelming, hatred for it.
And I mean, AEW, I think he would have returned as I would like to think, at least during that StarCast weekend for, what was it, All Out or Double or Nothing or wherever the hell they were at, where they had him speak on the panel, that there was some sort of negotiations talking on.
Yeah, they texted him mid-panel. Hey, you want to pull up?
Well, I think you've been talking about Tony Khan texting contracts over iMessage.
Ooh.
Hey, I'll sign this live.
Yeah, I mean, with technologies these days, I mean, you could sign anything digitally, but nonetheless, I mean, AEW, we can confirm now that he's not going, that CM Punk is fully on WWE backstage and on Fox, and they said he's be on periodically, so it looks like he won't be on every week. Well, however,
the idea here to me is funny too, because when it first came out last week, it was, well, he signed to Fox and WWE, which is like fart noise. Yeah. So I mean, you guys aren't seeing the forest for the trees here of like what that kind of means and what it opens the door for. But also now that video came out, now it's like he's a sellout and he went back for money and nothing's real anymore. And I just want people to believe that. I just want to believe what people say. And I'm like, bro, money will always win in a situation. Living is expensive.
Yes.
Living is expensive. Life is expensive. Living the life he lives is expensive. Like, just us alone could never, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can't match to or talk about or even fathom what this guy goes through or has to pay for or whatever. Like, let that man feed his family and his dog.
We have gone on, I think Justin has gone on record. We are not lobbying for jobs for the WWE. But if a great opportunity with a lot of money presented itself, I mean, you never know where we could end up, to be honest with you.
Absolutely.
But you know what? It is what it is at this point. It's not that so much it is what it is, because I don't particularly feel any way in terms of just how he's been over the last 5 years. Like, I kind of just have disassociated myself with that. But it helps that he's blocking me on Twitter as well, so I really don't have to pay it any mind. But go ahead.
I still I'm happy that Punk came back, to talk about professional wrestling. Like, he's really good, legend and shit like that. I'm so sorry. But I just think,
y'all cuss on y'all show. That's NXT, that blood and guts, that blood and guts promotion, the War Report.
Hey, whoa. Hey, you trademarked that. So
absolutely. But I don't know. I just think all the backlash that he's getting is like absolutely ridiculous.
I think that this was where it was headed. Like, you got to think, like, he did UFC, he does comics, he just did that horror movie. Like, what else is there other than him to come back and talk about wrestling? And he obviously, if you listen to like him doing that StarCast panel, he's obviously still passionate about it. Like, I don't know if he's going to get back in ring. I think that's only a matter of time, though. But yeah, I think that this is where it was going to go. Like, there was false hopes with ALW, like, and they were intentionally like leaving that open ended. Like, well, Punk could come until he squashed it. So like,
yeah. And that's when they like turned on him. It was just like, oh, that's when he's definitely not coming. But like, yeah, you can still be mad at Punk for doing the stuff with Colt Cabana, all the legal issues and, all that other stuff. But
get
at
money?
this point, it is what it is. Yeah, basically.
it is what it is. But what this banter sort of introduced is a little bit of a Twitter discussion. Now I'll have to sort of I guess lean this over to Justin because the man has blocked me on Twitter, so I don't actually know what he's actually saying.
Yeah. So, yesterday, Punk was having some banter back and forth with Wale and Renee Young. Punk confirmed that he had a lot to say. He actually even said, I've been looking at a lot of wrestling for the past 5 years. Some of it's bad. Mostly the women are good, which is kind of awesome to hear him talk about.
That's a bar.
Which lent him to say, well, in that tweet where he talks about how some of the wrestling was bad and some of it was good, he tagged Tony Khan of AEW in there. And from there, Tony Khan said it can't be more dangerous than basically a flight of people in Saudi Arabia, which was just kind of like, why would you even go there? Which led Randy Orton. CM Punk at this point is out of the conversation. To this point, he has not responded at all to any of this. And Randy
any
Orton,
other response from that would warrant a check at this point.
Exactly. And then Randy Orton responds and says, what did they say about throwing stones in glass houses? And he drops a link to something about Tony Khan's dad being investigated.
I saw that. I was like, wow.
which led Tony Khan to go back and be like, well, you said the N-word. And I'm, it's like, and I was like, oh wow, he's trying to score woke points. I'm like, come on, Tony Khan has said the N-word before. Let's be real here.
I can neither confirm nor deny, so I will not.
He said the N-word before. Come on, like him and Orton have both said the N-word. Like you can't. That's almost like the Spider-Man meme. Like I know y'all both said the N-word.
I will neither confirm nor deny.
Would you be surprised? Would you be surprised?
Would I be surprised? I'm going to plead the fifth because I don't actually know.
Exactly. So
I'm going to plead the fifth one.
So Orton responds and says, no, Orton, this isn't even before his response. From there, Brandy Rhodes jumps in, of course, because she just can't help herself. And this is like a long-standing tradition on the War Report to talk about Brandy Rhodes as well. But she says, knockout, TKO, which leads Charlotte Flair to jump in and say, please, which leads people to think that Charlotte was condoning Randy's use of the N-word, which clearly she was not. She was clearly just saying, all right, guys, like, this is stupid, which led Orton to call Tony Khan Jacksonville Dixie, as in Jacksonville Dixie Carter of TNA fame. I think that one stung a little bit for him, basically calling him a money mark.
Well, damn.
And that's not the first time he's been called a money mark this week.
Actually, it's funny because, like, Meelz said that Punk blocked him, but Punk only had one tweet in this whole controversy.
I mean, hey, you do what you want, you popping.
I can see Punk sending that tweet and just going like, to his kitchen and something like, and then like waiting to see like what happens. I didn't even think that it was going to unfold the way it did, but I just want to keep in mind, Brandy and Tony are two heads of a company doing this.
Yeah. Like Punk is a pundit. Randy Orton is a independent contractor or worker for WWE, and Charlotte is the same. It's kind of amazing that went down.
I do feel like Tony Khan is definitely a mark. I mean, he's 100%. To me, he's a wrestling fan with a lot of money that managed to invest properly into a professional wrestling company. But yeah, he's definitely, just from that response alone, it's like that's a response that any Joe Schmo with an egg for an Avi would also say on Twitter. Like it's not even so. He's definitely a mark. But we'll see how this entire thing goes.
And in terms of Randy Orton's usage of the N-word, Sean Ross Sapp, who's doing the Lord's work and has been for the past all year, he got a report. He put a report out on his Patreon today about the Randy Orton incident of him saying the N-word on the gaming stream. It was reported by him that a bunch of wrestlers did reach out to Sean and said that as far as the N-word thing and the whole dust up, Randy pretty much laughed it off. And as far as like the N-word thing, he privately apologized to many of the African-American wrestlers on the roster, and they pretty much all, there's no heat on them about it, and they all forgave him. So that was the end of that. But it was kind of interesting that was settled kind of behind doors and no one really kind of brought it out and said anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it. You know what? Let me not defend the shit.
No, but I mean, it's not defend. No, I'm not. I absolutely think Randy Orton's like probably like a frat boy, problematic.
Yeah, I think it's something. To be honest with you, it's something that I think he went out his way to go out and have things say, okay, let me apologize. Whereas opposed to the Hogan thing, you kind of like uncovered that he was an actual like maniacal racist.
Yeah,
like,
and it was actually said in the in the report that one of the wrestlers said that Hogan did it because he was caught. Randy did it because he actually wanted to do it, and that said a lot to me about it. But again, like these types of things, it's zero. It's in a lot of ways, it's zero tolerance. So I feel as though, like, again, the same thing I said with the Hogan apology to the locker room and Big E accepting it and people calling Big E a coon and all this other stuff. Who am I to say, or I wasn't in that room when Orton apologized or Hogan apologized. I didn't see that conversation. I can feel my way about it, but if the boys in there, they apologize for it or they not apologize, but they accepted it, that's how they're dealing with it. You know what I'm saying? Like I have no other words to say, but I do have my opinions on it myself.
Yeah, I agree. In terms of the next topic on No Holds Barred, I mean, I think we can sort of talk about this and kind of like wrap it up because I think essentially everything moving forward with him thus far in WWE, as it seems at this point, has been kind of been wrapping up. But Jordan Meelz, Twitter last week, an AMA. He is really, he went on live, went on Periscope, the most notable of live.
As you do.
I mean, yeah, it is what it is. He went on Periscope to answer any questions regarding how people were. He's left a lot of questions in the air now that reports have come out about his mental health and things that have gone on backstage in WWE. He chose that he wants to sort of, speak on all of this entire thing. I mean, there's a few, surprising little things. I mean, did anyone pick out anything that kind of like, I don't know if it's just like was particularly interesting to you about these sort of questionnaire?
Go ahead,
Cyrus. Go ahead.
Okay. He said that he is going, like he admitted that, he has like some mental issues. And he says that that's not like the fuel for, the banter that he's been having. And I'm just like, nah, it definitely is. And,
I mean, I don't mean to laugh, but
yeah, please.
It's absolutely the reason. I just think that it's
him still going on with the whole thing. At this point, just be super honest and like just be straightforward at this point. And I just think after the whole I quit WWE video, I'm kind of like over the whole thing at this point.
Throughout this entire thing, I mean, he answered a couple questions. He said, I think he said, Kofi's moment at WrestleMania was one of the greatest moments ever in his life. He said something like his goal is to still be like,
WWE
champion, which is like, all right, good luck with that. I mean, not to say that it can't happen. I think all things can be repaired eventually. I mean, this wouldn't be the most outlandish thing that has ever happened for the WWE. People have come back. So you'll never actually know. He also said something like, oh, why would I work for another company when it comes to him actually working for AEW? He's like, why would I get out of a situation in this company to work for another company or similar thing? So it's like,
it was just weird. It was just weird and like off because the thing that kind of framed that whole thing for me was that he quit on Periscope and then 2 days later had an AMA saying, I'm still signed. And it's like, yeah, you're still signed, dude. Like, get some help. Like, get off of the internet. Like, just get off. Like, someone needs to like really just go give him a one-on-one talk and say, get off the internet. Like, he's literally trying to educate people on what the Uncle Tom is.
Yeah, I'd like to just point out this entire situation that Jordan Meelz was called the WWE racist as hell, but and probably asked for his release, and it still has been granted yet. But however, Sean Spears still Release this quick and cool. So I would just like to point that out.
Release with the quickness.
With the quickness.
No. Jordan Miles said, "Fuck Triple H, fuck WWE and everything they stand for," and he's still there.
He's still there, and maybe they potentially will work something out in the future. It's still up in the air. That is crazy to me.
They saw how big Sean Spears got, and now they're scared to lose.
Sean Spears apparently turned down more money.
Oh man. Well, I mean, the Ultimate Warrior did threaten to kill Vince once, and he even went back. So, that was the thing that stood out to me. That when he was talking about his contract status, and he was like, "You never know," and I'm like, "Okay, well, obviously, like, if they came to you and you guys talk down the run, once you get yourself right." Maybe there is like a door open to reconciliation or something like that. Like, I think I agree with everybody else. Like, I think that he should get off Twitter, kind of like take some time off himself, get his mental right. Cause obviously he's going through some stuff and, and like basically like get back on his feet. Like he did a whole list of like the guys that he wanted to face in the indies. And I'm like, well, they're not granting releases. So unless you're doing this on like Fire Pro Wrestling or like 2K20, like you're not going to fight those guys or unless they get signed. So like, I think that the best course of action is like take some time out, chill out a little bit. Like
I'm sure even WWE would like finance some sort of a, even therapy or just someone to talk to or something along those lines. Like I'm sure they would even do that.
They do. And I think they have already.
Yeah. I think it's, I think, this entire situation, I think it's died down considerably since it actually come out like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, it's not even about the shirt anymore. It's not about the shirt anymore.
Yeah,
it's about it's again like we predicted. It is about people. It's once again trying to get points off of it. Like we just saw in RNC this week. Like Huey posted an email from some strange person saying that we got to stop racism in pro wrestling, and it's like,
oh yeah, that was weird, man.
It's just weird. It's like everyone's trying to get woke points off of this, and it's like, listen,
and it was wild because Kofi was the picture, and I was just like, bro, Kofi was a full ass champion
for 6 months.
It was a picture of Kofi like celebrating with the title, like he's on Big E's shoulder and shit, and it's just like we have to stop racism in WWE, showing like the positive image ever.
But the thing is, even with Jordan Miles, he won the NXT Breakout Tournament, and he got a title shot 2 weeks like after that. So it wasn't like they were trying to push him. They basically strapped a rocket to him, and he was going to be the next guy.
Yeah. It's
like, we saw this before with Leo Rush, where he kind of like did his Twitter stuff. He went to Fightful and talked to them and stuff like that. At this point, I'm just hoping Jordan Miles or ACH, wherever he wants to go by right now, definitely get it's his slave name.
It's his slave name. That is wild. ACH, yeah.
Get some help, man.
Yeah. Hopefully at this point, that's all I can hope for in this sort of situation. I'm not going to hope for sort of bringing down the WWE and exposing racism. I would rather him get the help that he actually needs and hopefully come to a solution. If it's not in the WWE, then it's not in the WWE. I think there's a lot of I think everyone's going through various things in their lives, and some things may produce more turmoil than others, and some situations may be more tumultuous than others. And if you feel like you're in a sort of toxic situation, by all means get out. And even if there's still people who have amazing careers outside of WWE. One of them is what's his face, Jay Lethal. And so many other different things.
Uncle Tom, bro.
Yeah, but you know what? He's made his name outside of WWE, and he hasn't really gone under that sort of umbrella. And I think if ACH decides to go that route, he can do that too. But I'd rather, get any particular help he needs.
I don't like him doubling down on the Jay Lethal stuff, but like, not like still saying like he's Uncle Tom or whatever, but he's just like, no, I definitely said what I said, and I like, I super meant it when I called Jay Lethal that. I'm like, what happened?
That's what we all like to know, but I think in the future that all this truth will come to light eventually. But with that said, you know what? We have a big prediction show. We have a lot of prediction, a lot of matchmaking, a lot of fantasy booking to do. Let's get into this weekend. I mean, this week they're emanating from Chicago. They'll be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And I'm fully sure that some NXT people will be competing all 4 days on that damn, tour. But NXT Takeover War Games 2019, we have a big show. You know what?
Do we?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big show. I mean,
it's a show. They have a show.
No, I mean, they have a big show. I think
they have a big show in the cards.
So, all right. So, in terms of, and we've heard MJ and Cyrus kind of talk about this all throughout the War Report, but how do you feel like generally the build to this show has been? Are you anticipating these matches? We had a switch earlier in the week where, Johnny Gargano was not able to compete due to his neck injury, so they have subbed him out, and it'll be Finn Balor versus Matt Riddle. But overall, regarding the show, how do you guys feel in terms of just it being built and the energy around it?
I think that this basically this Takeover War Games, it's going to be good, but I think it's going to be a wash as far as any kind of like storylines go. I think they're going to really build it towards Takeover Tampa and going over there, because you see, like, there aren't any titles on the line. So you could use the War Games matches to kind of build on who's going to be like the next contenders, or maybe hint at that. But as soon as I saw like Gargano's hurt and like, oh, he's not going to face Balor, I'm like, all right, well, you know what I mean? And then seeing what's going on with Raw and SmackDown, I'm like, all right, this is kind of, I could just have fun with this. I could kind of like turn off my like booking brain for like a weekend and like just kind of enjoy it.
Right. I think it wouldn't be the worst thing to put all the considering all the titles are in the same damn match. It wouldn't be the worst thing to put all the titles on the line, just so it kind of feels like a penultimate sort of situation where it's just like, oh my god, like this would sort of shift the powers and NXT of the stranglehold that Undisputed Era has, and kind of the resistance of Tommaso Ciampa, Keith Lee, Dominic Dijakovic, and the treacherous TBD. Let's get into the first match of this. It is what we have on the card. You know what? Let's start off with Finn Balor versus Matt Riddle. Yep. It is a match that has essentially come out of nowhere. It's been a match built on sort of circumstance out of this entire thing. What do you guys? I mean, knowing you three guys, I kind of know what you're expecting from this match. But what do we think about this match, and who do we think is going to walk out the victor?
Balor for sure. And I'm really looking forward to this match. I like they kind of like since Johnny got injured, this match took his place. I'm just like, was this match always in the cards, and when? That's what I'm really curious about. But I think this match is going to be great overall, and like there's no doubt in my mind that this match could like possibly be bad. Justin,
these are two of your favorite people in NXT.
Two of my favorite. No, I mean Finn Balor is one of my favorite wrestlers in the world. I kind of got to disagree with it coming out of nowhere. I do think they built up to it very well. I think that it was actually like, if you follow like the After the Bell podcast, like Finn named Riddle as the guy he wanted to face, number one out of anyone. And so when it happened later on that day, after I listened to the episode, I was like, okay, it makes sense. He probably picked him if Gargano couldn't go, like, because he said that to Corey Graves that Riddle was like the first name he said that for people he wanted to face at NXT. It's a match we haven't seen before, so it's definitely intriguing. I want to see what Finn's gonna do. Like, I just think the intrigue here is better than any match on the card, honestly. Like, I think we want to see the new Finn Balor heel entrance. We want to see what he's changed. We want to see what he's gonna do now. We also want to see how he fits with Riddle, who admittedly can do all types of styles, whether it be high flying, submission, technical, brawling, all of that stuff. Like, I just think that it's a great mix of styles, and it could potentially really show us what Finn's going to do. I mean, I want to go back to the Corey Graves interview he had last week, which I thought was really good. It's about 10 or 15 minutes with him. But he said, like, I want to do what I want to do. He said he had been really complacent in Raw and SmackDown, and whatever they told him to do, he did. And I feel as though, like, a lot of our complaints, especially Meelz' complaints with Finn at that moment, it made sense because he just had lost it. He just didn't feel, he wasn't into it anymore. And I think that's why he accepted so many of these, like, kind of pointless stories that he was in. So I want to see if he's the one that's controlling his destiny, what he's going to do. And I really hate that Riddle's taking so many jobs. I don't think he's going to win here. I don't think it hurts him, but he's been taking a lot of jobs lately and a lot of pins, and it's making me wonder like what the process and what the story is for him. Like you're not going to have Balor lose first, and unless this ends up being like a DQ or a non-finish, I could definitely see Finn Balor winning this one semi-clean. So I'll go with Balor.
MJ, what do you think?
I kind of agree with Justin there. I think that if you're going to really push Finn as a force, and especially the heel force that they're building with, Finn's got to take the W here. I'm in the same league as like, I really hate that Riddle's losing so much. Like, I hope they kind of like make up for that if they do something at Survivor Series for him. I'm not really sure what they're doing, but I would definitely say that Finn is going to take the W, and I'm really looking forward to how both men's styles complement each other. Because like you said, like Riddle can basically do anything, and I'm really interested to see if Finn kind of goes to more of his heel style like that he used to do for like New Japan, and kind of like mix that there. Because like the same thing that he said like on Backstage was like, in NXT, you can't really hide. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
With like Raw and SmackDown, you had the big bright lights and the production and stuff like that. NXT is a little bit smaller. There's more light on you. So I'm really interested to see what Finn does here. He gets the W.
I think, as sort of MJ kind of rolling off this is the first time, and at least in the WWE, you kind of see Finn Balor's heel persona working in the ring. So I think it'll be an interesting sort of aspect of this. And this could also be, considering the style of Matt Riddle, I think it could be, quite honestly, his most physical match that he's going to have in the WWE. Because Matt Riddle goes balls to the wall every time. Mm-hmm. I'll agree with everyone. I think it's unanimous on this one that Finn Balor will pick up the win at this point. And, at this time, it looks like he's going to be, heading towards the NXT championship. And in terms of just what's said about Matt Riddle, leaning off of what J5 said, I think they're establishing a structure in NXT that they kind of haven't had, that they're kind of implementing now because of the weekly television. And it's kind of like this, this like very fixed main event scene. And there's Tommaso Ciampa in it, there's Johnny Gargano in it, there's Adam Cole in it, and Finn Balor seems to be in it. I think Matt Riddle is still on the cusp of actually entering that main event scene. And, we'll see how that kind of goes moving forward. Another match that we had announced, and it's a triple threat match that has Survivor Series implications. Mm-hmm. A triple threat match between Pete Dunne, Damian Priest, and Killian Dane was announced for NXT TakeOver War Games. This feud has been going on, for quite some time. It actually came out of nowhere, especially when Killian Dane showed up. I was just like, really?
No.
He kind of, he should.
You got to stop saying it came out of nowhere.
But here's the thing, though. It's like, it came out of nowhere by aspect of, like, what's triggered this outside of Killian Dane just deciding he wanted to beat people up?
Pete Dunne snapping his fingers.
Yeah, Pete Dunne snapped his fingers because he came out during his match.
When he came out during his match to attack him?
During his entrance, they stared each other down, and then he was just like, "What's up? You got negs?" And he was like, "Well, I don't care. I don't care if I got negs." And then he broke his fingers.
Yeah, snapped it, and then there was like a little interview when he was heading into Full Sail, and he talked some smack about Killian Dane. So it's been something lingering in the background.
To be clear, he said, "I don't care about Killian Dane," and I got out of my seat and said, I looked like Boosie when he was in the club, and he put his hand down. That was me.
I felt that.
It's a triple threat match. The winner will face Adam Cole at Survivor Series. Is there any match you particularly want to see? And is that different than the match that will probably you think is going to actually happen?
Killian Dane ain't sniffing that match. Let's be clear.
Well,
yeah.
If Killian Dane can make it to Survivor Series after not making it to WWE pay-per-view all of 2018,
definitely be a plus for him.
It'd be definitely a plus for him. So, there we go.
He definitely should have been lobbing it to be a part of the Survivor Series team.
100%. Cyrus, is your pick who you want to actually win?
Damian Priest.
Damian Priest. Ooh, okay. So you think Damian Priest is taking it? Damien Priest, I mean, he's been impressive. I mean, a lot more impressive than I probably thought he was going to be when he first stepped in the ring. But I think he's really found a home in NXT. And I think just his overall presence has begun to work and kind of like swell on television as he comes through every week.
It's definitely coming all together for him, and I think him getting a title shot at a pay-per-view would be really nice. But if they want to go with somebody already established and can already have amazing matches and already has chemistry with Adam Cole, of course they're going to go with Pete Dunne. But I would like Damian Priest to win.
MJ,
anybody but Killian.
Who would you like to win, MJ?
I mean, I'm going to go with Pete Dunne, Mr. Second Hour. I would agree with Cyrus that like Damian Priest, because he's been really impressing me, especially like with him, like all that Punishment Martinez stuff, they probably pretty much washed away, which I really liked. And it just shows like his athleticism as being a big man. But I think that the H-Man is really he's going to go with his bread and butter here, and he's going to book Pete.
I mean, this would be Pete Dunne's one of his really first major appearances on the WWE pay-per-view. I don't think they want to pass that up for sure. Yeah. J5, take us home. Who do you want to see face Adam Cole at Survivor Series?
I want to see Pete Dunne do it because I'm a Pete Dunne mark, but I also think that Damian Priest would get more out of it. I think of all the matches on this card, this has the most kind of like storyline implications. Just to go back to what MJ said or a little bit earlier, I think that again, I think it's kind of brilliant the way they're kind of booking this. I think I saw somebody say, "Well, this is WWE booking at its finest," and I'm just like, "Bro, they always do rush booking for Survivor Series. They've done it for the past 3 years. What made you think this year was going to be any different?" Like, come on,
man. I love Survivor Series.
To be honest, it's the feud with the most backstory, but it's like when you look at Survivor Series, it's like the match with the least like
heat.
least heat, least intrigue to it, because you just kind of assume Adam Cole is going to take whoever wins in this match. I think this match is more so, you know what, when we get to Survivor Series, we talk about the actual title match itself.
Well, I think it's going to be spectacular. As Cyrus said, Damian Priest has impressed me a lot. I'd love to see him get that spot, and I think they really want him on the main roster, to be honest with you. But I think Pete Dunne is the guy that's going to give you that 10, 15-minute sprint that they need in that show. It's probably going to be hours, but it's probably going to be a banger. So Pete Dunne is probably going to win this.
All right. I'm picking Pete Dunne as well. Next up, we got both War Games matches. I mean, they're pretty much stacked to the walls, especially, I think, in terms of the one who I want everyone's sort of prediction on the one that you think will actually be the better one, because I think just the quality of competitors in both of these matches, and we still have to figure out who's the last person on the men's War Games match.
It has to be good.
Let us know.
It has to be good because it's their whole roster.
I mean, including some, they even imported one from the UK to be in this match.
They weren't letting Jessamine Duke sniff that case.
They were letting,
I told them, man, they should have been having them girls in matches, making sure they was ready to be part of Survivor Series or just War Games, and they just weren't ready.
Even if they were a part of matches, I do not think that they were sniffing the cage unless it was outside. I don't think that they were going to include them. Like, you have too much, basically, like, talent on that women's roster for just to include them right now. So I don't think so.
The women's War Games match, we have Shayna Baszler, Io Shirai, Bianca Belair, and Kaylee Ray, the NXT UK Women's Champion, versus Rhea Ripley, Candice LeRae, Mia Yim, and Tegan Knox. This is going to be quite the match. It is the first ever women's War Games. It is history making. It is the brutality that can show up in this match. I mean, I'm predicting Io Shirai with the biggest spot in this match easily. I mean, it's
moonsault off the top of the cage.
The moonsault off the top of the cage seems like a given.
I pray that they catch her. I'm so afraid.
Well, listen.
Hey, man. I hope so, too.
Who do we think?
Because they barely caught Ricochet that 1 year.
In terms of... that's right? Team Baszler versus Team Ripley. Who do we think is taking out the victory in this one?
Again, as
I really feel like anyone who wins is like it's I don't know.
Well, you won.
Well, I think that I feel two ways about it. Obviously, I've loved the build to this. This build for this match has started since before the 10-2 NXT. So it's been going for a while. Like, this has been a 6 to 7 week build. So this makes a lot of sense. I think this is the most built match on the whole card here, because the women here, they've all kind of been jockeying for a position. I really loved it. I love the Io Shirai Mia Yim match. It's probably in one of my top 15 matches this year. I loved it so much.
Yeah, they've done a lot to revitalize the women roster, especially after we badmouthed it for like the top of the year and also like last year due to kind of stagnancy.
100%. I think that whoever comes out on top here, automatically a title contender. So I'm two minds about it. I think whoever gets the winning pin here, automatically they'll go on to go and face Shayna next time. And where's Rumble? Houston?
It is. I believe it's in Houston. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the match.
There's a Tampa. No. It's Houston. It's Houston. WrestleMania is in Tampa.
But then again, I also think Shayna wins LOL. So I think Team Baszler wins here.
Well, here's the thing. In this match, you don't have to do Shayna wins LOL because the title's not on the line. Like, you have an opportunity to sort of take a backseat and actually like have her, not win.
I think if she doesn't win, the person who will get the pinfall is Rhea Ripley. I think that's the most likely. I think that's the story they have going, and I think that's who's going to beat Shayna Baszler in January.
All right. Cyrus, who do we think is walking out?
Definitely Team Baszler. I like the team more.
It's a great team.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to see Rhea Ripley take the title off Shayna, honestly.
Right.
But I think it's just going to be a crazy match. I think it's going to be the better War Games match, just because like this is the first women's one, and you just want to see all the things that the women could do in the match. So it's just like that. Like that surprise factor is there. So like for me, it's all automatically better. I'm waiting to see like all the strong stuff that Bianca Belair is going to do. Rhea Ripley as well, Mia Yim, just all the crazy stuff. And like they have Kaylee Ray there as well. So I don't watch NXT UK a lot, but I'm completely ready to see what she can do.
It's been good.
Okay. I was just like, what's that little girl doing that big ass belt? MJ.
Right, JR.
Yeah. MJ, who's winning? Which team is winning?
I'm actually going to go the other way, and I'm going to say Team Ripley wins. The beautiful thing about this War Games is that there's so many ways to book it. Even if you have Shayna Baszler's team win, you can have somebody like Bianca get the pin or Io get the win, and then be like, well, I won for the team. So like, you know what I mean? Like you didn't, I did it. So like I'm challenging. But I think basically if Shayna wins, Shayna's not taking a pin. If it's going to be somebody else. She's definitely not taking a pin. I think if Rhea's team wins, and I think Rhea will ultimately get the win here, I think that it would be kind of like too easy for the heel team to win. I'd be like, oh man, like Shayna's team won again. Like how many is that? Like 18 wins in a row for Shayna. So I'm gonna, yeah, yeah. Shout out to Becky Lynch. I think that I'm gonna go with Rhea Ripley. I think that Tegan is gonna show out. I think Mia has like fire in her from that ladder match. She's going to show out too. Hopefully she doesn't do anything crazy off the cage. But yeah, I'm going to go with Team Ripley.
All right. And we have the final match, the main event, no doubt. The men's War Games match. We have the Undisputed Era completely dripping in gold from top to bottom versus Tommaso Ciampa, Keith Lee, Dominik Dijakovic, and TBD. And I have a question for everybody. I hope by the time it's Thursday night or even Wednesday night, I'm sure by tomorrow we'll know who the hell is on this team.
I'm checking Twitter now to see if they announced it.
They have not announced it.
However,
oh my God.
We have an interesting thing. Let's predict the final member on this team.
Jesus Christ. It could be Matt Taven. It could literally be anybody, dog.
It could be all right. So I'm going to it could be anybody. Right?
Matt Tate.
It just end up being, what if it's Austin Theory? Like, what if it's like it could be anybody? Like, it's so weird. I would like to say that they'll probably give it to what's my man's name?
Swerve.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's gonna be Swerve.
He's been pretty active. He's done pretty well for himself. If it's not Swerve, I'm not sure if Velveteen Dream is ready to come back yet.
He's not back till 2020.
Really? Damn.
Yeah, he's
for the dream, man.
Yeah, he's out.
So I'm picking Swerve maybe, and then in that case, this has been Undisputed Era's match for the last 3 years. It was the War Games concept in NXT was birthed with Undisputed Era taking the first win in the match, and they lost last year. In terms of what's kind of going to go on with this match, it would be a great way to see. I think Tommaso Ciampa winning this match produces a whole lot of different opportunities, and I think honestly they're going to set up for a triple threat match at the Royal Rumble weekend between Adam Cole, Tommaso Ciampa, and Finn Balor.
No, that is like my number one fear. Ever since I saw Balor come out, I was just like, they need to keep those two away. Honestly, I don't want to see Finn Balor and Tommaso Ciampa versus Adam Cole.
I think it's gonna happen just based on the fact. There's so much like jockeying for position in NXT currently, and the pay-per-view's only about 2 months away after this one. I think it could definitely happen. But if I had to pick one that's going to go down, it's Tommaso Ciampa. But Cyrus, what do you think? Who do you think is the team coming out this match, Victor?
First, I would like to say my prediction for the fourth man.
Yes.
Fourth man. Tyler Bate. I also think Isaiah Swerve Scott is also a great pick because he's been winning on NXT all this week, and I think why the hell not? They need someone like him in the match. I don't think anybody else is like a high flyer like him in the match.
In an alternate universe, this is Jordan Miles, isn't it?
Yes, 100%.
Too bad.
If you remember correctly, the last time we saw Jordan Miles, he was being beat up by the Undisputed Era. So that's clearly where they were going with it.
Yeah, I think in a different world, this is Jordan Miles. J5, who do you think is going to be the man? And Cyrus, did we get your pick of who's winning?
Yeah, I was just like, wait, what happened? I will. Man, damn. I'm going to go on Undisputed Era.
Big sigh, come on. Undisputed Era.
I need to know.
Yeah, Undisputed Era. No, I see it. J5, who's walking out this match with Victor?
I also think it's going to be Swerve. They would not be pushing him for nothing. He did lose to Dijakovic, but that's only because Dijakovic needed to get a rebound win at that point. I don't think you have Undisputed win this 2 times. I think you have them lose again. It's just not a good story to have them win again. I think they'll get their wins in Survivor Series. Honestly, I think that the main roster bookers, I think Heyman and Pritchard and Vince, I think they see a lot in these guys, and it's easy to see why. These guys have risen to the cream of the crop. I think we should be starting to see the Undisputed Era start to kind of taper off. They've been there for 3 years next year, so. It's really time for them to go, but I also think Tommaso Ciampa is going to get the winning pin here. I don't think this will be as good as the women's one, but it does have the potential to be really good. I really hope they don't do those corny spots like last year when they had them walking towards each other like it was a video game. I did not feel that last year.
We're ready to rumble.
But I think it's going to be a good match, and I think that the team faces, they're going to win.
MJ, who's walking out? And who's the fourth man?
I was going to joke around and say Kona Reeves, but I'm going to go with Swerve Scott too. They've been pushing him to the moon. I've really been liking his style, especially with the Bronson Reed match that just happened. So like him doing that high flyer stuff will definitely complement like Keith Lee's power stuff and Dijakovic's stuff as well. I'm also going to go with Team Ciampa. Just kind of going off what J5 just said, Undisputed Era has been winning a lot, like especially with Adam Cole beating like Daniel Bryan and them getting the upper hand on like the Revival. I think that it's time to, they've had the storyline where they've won all the belts, and it's really time to kind of whittle that down and start parsing that out to most of the roster and starting to get them over. They're more than ready. Like, if you haven't seen on the Invasion angles, like, they're more than ready for the main roster. I think they would take the L here, and then we start seeing, like, Roddy may lose the title here, and then, like, Fitch and O'Reilly are going to lose, and then ultimately Adam Cole lose. So, yeah, I'll go with Team Ciampa.
100%, man. All right, and that is NXT War Games 2019 thus far. We don't know if there are going to be any more matches added. Hopefully not. I feel like, those 2 War Games matches is going to stretch out quite a bit of time. Interesting aspect, CM Punk. Now it's on backstage. If you haven't, if my fellas haven't already turned their televisions yet.
Just keep my eye out on Twitter.
Let's get my Survivor Series 2019 card. Let's get it on and popping. This match, this entire card itself, I mean, it's kind of like a dream card, isn't it?
It's better than the TakeOver card.
Absolutely.
It even has an NXT match on it. Like, it's crazy. Like, we're here. Everything. I mean,
if you would have told me,
even start?
If we're at the end of the decade here. If you would have told me 10 years ago that we'd be seeing this card at the end of this decade, I would have, like, think of everything that has changed to get us here. Think of everything that's changed in wrestling to get us here, where we would see matches like this, that are good. NXT match. NXT was a joke in 2009, 2010. Like, it's insane to me.
Literally a joke.
It's insane to me.
Running around with kegs and tripping. Oh my god!
Titus O'Neil, all types of stuff. Make it a win. Jesus Christ! Oh man, Ember Moon still has a boot on. That means she's not going to be at Survivor Series weekend.
That's why they got Sarah Logan.
Well, I guess we'll start there because this would be another fantasy pick that we got going on. But they're going to be 5-on-5-on-5. These matches are going to be long as hell.
and the fact that we still have like singles and triple threat matches like in between is just like this pay-per-view should be like Mania long.
Yeah. I hope you get snacks because it's gonna be long.
I'm gonna have fun with this.
Hopefully they don't put NXT on the kickoff show. Team Raw versus Team SmackDown versus Team NXT, the women. We haven't seen much I think they're going to save for Friday in Chicago. I think the women are going to end the show with their giant schmoz of a brawl. Just to kind of even it out with the men kind of deal that they happen on Monday. But Team Raw, let's talk about it thus far. It includes Charlotte Flair, Natalya, both Kabuki Warriors, and Sarah Logan. Kind of what are our thoughts on Sarah Logan?
Where the fuck did you dig up Sarah Logan?
From main event.
We haven't seen her on TV in like how long? At least for Dana Brooke, they like put her on TV to make to make up for it, but they just said, "Oh, fuck."
I could hear Live or Leave scream when Sarah Logan.
Well, if the Team Raw team wasn't questionable enough, SmackDown is just I think it's an all-time. So weird.
Them not having Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose, I was just like, why not?
Well, I was watching Survivor Series last year, and apparently they were on the team last year. I mean, but they were in the way of Nia Jax's big heel run at the time after punching Becky in the face. She was the baddest person on the planet at that point. Team SmackDown includes Sasha Banks as the captain, former women's champion Carmella. And then you have Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, and Nikki Cross.
Man, imagine seeing Dana Brooke and Sarah Logan wrestling each other on the pay-per-view that's not on the pre-show. That's gonna be crazy.
Hey, they are primed for this. They've had a long-standing feud on main event for the 18 people who've been watching it on Hulu. I just wanted to make a note. Sarah Logan's last WWE TV match was on July 8th. and it went 4 minutes. So there you go.
Good Lord. There we go.
Get that check.
There's also supposed to be a 5-woman team on NXT. I have a feeling they're just going to announce this on the Bump tomorrow, or one of their other, social media outlets, or however they want to announce things on Corey Graves' podcast, whatever.
Well, all of those women will be bumped because they'll be coming off of a grueling War Games match. I'm pretty sure a lot of the women that are in that War Games match are going to be in that the 5-on-5-on-5. I just think it's really interesting how they're playing it close to the chest. I don't think there's any other women that are missing from that roster that could be in that match other than anyone that's in that War Games match.
Well, maybe Dakota Kai, right?
Candice LeRae and Dakota Kai.
Yeah, I mean Dakota.
Tegan and Rhea for sure.
Tegan and Rhea, yeah, they've been on TV.
I mean, Dakota, sure, because she showed up on TV. Surely not like
Gia Lee and Zia Lee. And
surely not them.
Shooter Lee.
I don't want to necessarily predict this team because I just feel like it's just going to be a mash of whatever the War Games match. Whoever doesn't show up injured out the War Games match will be inserted into this match, and then maybe you might get a Dakota Kai after.
But like, who are your backup wrestlers besides Dakota Kai?
They have none.
That's man.
Lacey Lane. I don't know what to say.
We got like Redneck Gonzalez, maybe Santana Garrett, VXT.
Oh,
well, isn't it like BX now because like one of them is injured?
Oh yeah, Rachel Ellering is hurt, so it'll be VX.
I mean, to me, this match, I don't even know. It's about brand supremacy, but at this point,
we're about to see some NXT UK women in there. Everybody gonna be like, "What the hell?"
I am looking.
Is LaDawn, baby?
That's how you know stuff went bad.
Is it easy to say that I think Team Raw was going to take this match?
Fair to say, and I think this is a match that's gonna more than anything help add more fuel to the Becky Lynch, Charlotte Kabuki Warriors dust up that is imminent, and probably if you guys have been reading spoilers, that it's coming up. So I'd say Team Raw.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Team Raw. What do you say, Cyrus and MJ?
Team Raw.
Team Raw.
Team Raw taking it home. Let's see.
Sarah Logan with the big win at a pay-per-view.
Well, here we are. I mean, next let's go into the NXT Championship. So it's going to be Adam Cole as champion versus whoever wins this match. I think this is another quick one because I don't think Adam Cole is losing that belt to whoever the hell walks out this match either way. But I think it's a great exhibition match to kind of get NXT on a major stage, especially with a lot of people watching and it being in Chicago.
Well, they're obviously going to go with the Adam Cole ribs taped up angle here, where that might give the opponent, whether it be Pete Dunne, Killian Dane, or Damian Priest, the advantage. So it'll be a good match because Adam will probably have to work from under for most of it. But again, like Meelz said, I don't see him losing it here, and especially not to Dunne, Dane, or Priest. I think they have bigger, better things coming for them in the future.
100%. Let us go into the battle of the mid card.
Wow.
It's a triple threat match. I mean, it's the mid-card titles. What do you want from me? It's the most...
AJ's not booked like a mid-card guy. Let me just be clear. AJ's not booked like that.
Listen, mid-card isn't meant to be a pejorative term.
No, I mean...
It's legitimately just...
It's just a comment on his booking. Like, he doesn't lose.
He doesn't lose.
Like, he never... I think Roderick Strong isn't booked like a mid-carder either. Like, I think he's booked extremely strong on NXT. I think Nakamura is the only guy that even though he has great matches, he's the only guy that's kind of like, you could take him or leave him. Like, he doesn't really lose a lot, but he doesn't really like have a lot of matches either.
I'm just glad it's not Humberto Carrillo in this match. However, we have AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura versus Roderick Strong, triple threat, Art Raw, SmackDown, NXT involved. I mean, this is the most high-profile match Shinsuke Nakamura has been in since WrestleMania last year.
It's a dream match. It's a dream match. It's again goes back to what I said about if you were to tell me in 2010 when I was like 22 or 21, like this is going to happen, I would have laughed in your face. Like, first of all, AJ Styles alone, I would have walked away from you. And Roderick Strong, I would have just been like, all right, whatever. Like, Shinsuke Nakamura though, like, come on, like that would have been too much to believe. I think this is going to be a great match. I do think AJ
There's no faces in this match.
I think they don't have to. I mean, they could call it in the ring. I mean, obviously, you have AJ and Shinsuke who have their own history with each other from the main roster, but you also have Roderick Strong who's playing kind of like the third wheel here, and I think you can have him play the face.
Yeah, no, I think I'm going the opposite. I'll say Roderick Strong plays the dickhead heel. I mean, he's clearly over. He's clearly going to compensate due to the magnitude of the other two people in this match and try to, get a win out of there himself. But I think the people will be firmly behind AJ. If I had to pick who wins this match, I'm going to go AJ. I mean AJ.
When they book him, I'd say AJ, but honestly, I think Undisputed Era to me is gonna win all of their matches. So I'll go with Roderick Strong here.
Wow, I thought I was gonna be the only one that goes with Roderick Strong.
Okay,
Roderick is one of my favorites, and I would like to see how his how his style clashes in this match, especially in this triple threat. I wouldn't be surprised if Shinsuke took the win though.
Shinsuke.
MJ, who we got? Shinsuke.
I'm going with I'm going with AJ Styles. Justin said, he does not lose. Actually, this is the card. This is the match that I'm most looking forward to. But AJ Styles is going to get the win here.
All right, I can see it. Let's move on. We have our let's see, how the hell do we go about this at this point? You know what? Let's go into the battle of the women's championships. Because it is Becky Lynch Raw, Bayley from SmackDown, and Shayna Baszler from NXT, 2-3 major forces on their respective shows. If this is the one, if you had to pick a match where I say NXT, I don't know, NXT wins and that's Shayna Baszler. It's very.
I know Paul is probably in some boardroom right now pulling for that to happen.
Begging.
I think they underestimated Bayley a little too hard, this whole feud, or just made her feel to me they made her feel like she was an afterthought in this match. So if she came and scooped up the win with the Rose Clan, I wouldn't be upset at all.
Well, you got to remember that as big as Shayna is on her show, you're going against Becky Lynch, and she's still the biggest in the company. I think Becky does win this. I think that they give a good show, but it's Becky Lynch, guys. Come on, she don't ever lose.
I think Shayna will definitely have her fading, and then Bayley comes to scoop up a win of some sort.
Exactly.
I think that I'm also going to go with Becky Lynch to win. If you know the storyline, basically Shayna is kind of pseudo Ronda Rousey here, even though she's saying that she's I'm not Ronda, you know what I mean? I'm a 2-time champion, but I think that if you're gonna build towards Becky and Ronda eventually, because Ronda's gonna come back. I don't know if it's gonna be Royal Rumble or something like that, but she's gonna come back and that's your money match. I think you're gonna have Becky win here. I can't believe I'm saying this, but she's gonna get the pin on Shayna.
Yeah.
Nah, I feel I just feel like Shayna Baszler's winning this match. That's what I have a strong inkling feeling that Shayna Baszler is winning this match.
Paul is flipping over a table right now. He's like, "You're gonna have Shayna do what?
Take a pin? Tap out?
Yeah.
Hell no."
I mean, I don't think I wouldn't think Paul Heyman would disagree. I don't know, Bruce Pritchard would disagree. Shayna Baszler could win this match, and we could start promoting another big star on the television shows. And I think people get to see what Shayna Baszler is really about. Let's get into the next match. It is the. I don't know if I want to get into this.
I don't like how you said "woof." Wait, what match are you talking about?
I'm talking about this. I'm talking about the Survivor Series 5-on-5-on-5.
Oh, okay.
The men's edition. Because Team Raw includes Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, and Ricochet. Team SmackDown includes Roman Reigns, King Corbin, Ali, Shorty G, and Braun Strowman. And Team NXT, we have yet to hear, anything regarding that. I mean, it's a big blank right there.
I desperately think they need Dijakovic just to like make up for like the size factor. Probably like Damian Priest too, because like, you know, you have Strowman, Reigns, who are like fucking. I'm so sorry. You just like have massive dudes in the ring.
Unscripted violence. Cyrus strikes again.
Right. I mean, the running thread through all this team seems to be that there seems to be a big head leader of this. And you got Seth Rollins and you got Roman Reigns. If there's someone who can sort of emulate that on NXT's behalf that kind of represents NXT, I think it would be either Tommaso Ciampa or Finn Balor, right?
I know you said you didn't want Finn in the match, but it just gotta he gotta be in the match. He has to. He's the most familiar with a lot of those guys. He's wrestled a lot of them.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not sure who Team NXT will be. I can't see them. I mean, Team Raw was so good.
I feel bad for them, and I honestly, like, more than anything, I really feel bad for Gargano and Dream. Like, every single time it's about that time for Gargano to get there, something tragic always happens. Like, I think that if Ciampa doesn't get hurt earlier this year, I think he's already on the main roster at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. If I had to predict...
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Survivor Series team is definitely going to need like a lot of, like, probably going to need like some big names. So Balor would be a good pick, and we've been talking about it a lot today. Like Triple H possibly playing a factor into the match.
Yes,
I would love to see it.
I mean, Triple H
being in it changes the tide of it. I think they've been doing a lot of like allusions to like Seth or KO turning, or rather Seth really, because they've done more with Seth in that story. But I do think there's going to be a turncoat. I do think it's going to be Seth Rollins, and I do think NXT is going to win this match.
No, I feel like, considering Triple H is all his politicking over the last couple days, like he's going to be like, we haven't got Rollins, we didn't get Owens, like, I'll just do it myself. Like, and then Triple H will head this team with his guys and like, I'll teach them how to win and all this other stuff. And
I saw people were just like, man, do you guys really want to see Triple H wrestle? And I was just like, imagine Triple H being in there and then he gets a hot tag to like Keith Lee or something. That's going to be crazy. Like, just, like Paul protecting his like children and not wanting them to like really get into the match until, he's like super winded and stuff. And then he gets like the hot tag, like that, like all the emotional stuff that you put on all these other matches, like that's there. Right. If Triple H is in the match.
Who do we have winning this entire thing?
Well, I said NXT, so
I'm going to pick Raw.
I'm going to pick NXT.
SmackDown doesn't really need a win.
King Corbin could use him.
all right. Stop talking.
If this is setting up for Roman and Corbin to have a match at TLC, I think Corbin costs them the match, honestly.
True.
Yeah,
I'm going to go with NXT. Just off the implication that Triple H might be there and a turncoat just makes it seem like it's going to be in NXT's favor.
All right. I mean, we could definitely see NXT blindside both Raw and SmackDown on the show and kind of establish themselves as a strong third brand. I mean, wouldn't be out the cards. Next up, we have both of our championship matches. The first one, let's get into because rather it's was kind of abruptly put together, but it's not something that we don't want to see. The Universal Championship, the blue.
That title a little hard. I might need a cop.
I like the red one. I don't know.
Everyone hated the red one when it first came out, though. Everyone hated it.
Now everybody was just like, man, if it ends up on SmackDown, it's going to be blue. And now that it's blue, everybody's like, ew, why is it blue?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Universal Championship. It is the Fiend Bray Wyatt defending against Daniel Bryan. Whew. How do we think this match is going to go? Well, the red lights. I hope not. I just throw away the red lights.
It got to be blue now. It got to be blue now.
How do you think this match is going to go?
Well, Bryan is the only guy that's ever given Bray a good match in 5 years.
No, this is longer than that at this point. Bray Wyatt's career has lasted since 2011. He is the only person this decade.
Yeah. He's the only person that's ever given Bray a good match. So why would I not? And plus, when it's Survivor Series time, Brian always shows up. So why am I to think that this isn't going to be a good match? Well, again, it's a Fiend match, so he's going Brian has to structure this match in a way that it doesn't kill all his finishes, I think that I think Fiend killed Seth so badly this year. I think Seth is damaged. I don't believe any type of Seth offense. I don't believe the stomp anymore. I don't believe any of his moves anymore can hurt anyone. I think Brian has to do it where it's you want to submit him, but will he tap? You want to do the knee, but he's not gonna. He's gonna get right back up. He's gonna find a way to try and beat the Fiend, and I think he's ultimately going to fail. But I think it's going to be a great way to see some chinks in the Fiend's armor.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, there's nothing else I can add to that. I think Bray Wyatt will walk out this match. It's been quickly put together, but then you got a star like Daniel Bryan, and you got Bray Wyatt in this match.
I think the build that they've been putting together, it works. Honestly, it was just people were just it's WWE
trying to figure himself out.
Yeah, and it was just WWE booking don't make no sense, and it was just hey, Brian, you want to have a match? Okay, then it's a challenge was issued, and then we got it. What's hard about that?
The yes movement wills Daniel Bryan to really put it to Bray Wyatt, and it's oh my god, now he's at his full power on some anime shit. MJ, who do we think is working out this match?
Definitely think that Bray's going to win. He continues his revenge against past opponents. I think Daniel Bryan is going to work his ass off, of course. Some people are going to complain that Daniel Bryan, he's losing again. And as much as I hate to see it, Daniel Bryan is one of those wrestlers where he could lose a lot, and that one win was just because he's Daniel Bryan, could prop him right back up into the spotlight. So Fiend wins, but Daniel Bryan is going to look like a star here, of course.
I agree.
Quick sidebar. Did CM Punk never say never in terms of returning to wrestling?
Yes, he did.
He also said that he never talked about WWE. That's hilarious.
That is interesting. I mean, we were live watching backstage as well while we're doing this, but we have possibly, the main event. This could have been a main event of Survivor Series in 2003, but in 2019, we have the WWE Championship defended by Brock Lesnar, and he's going up against Rey Mysterio on Monday Night Raw. They changed this match. It is now being a no-holds-barred, no disqualification match. Whew.
Heart?
Banger.
That's right up Cyrus's alley.
Banger.
I'm gonna go Ray.
What? Ray? Whoa.
Absolutely.
Okay, I had to stop the stream right there. You're going Rey Mysterio. Please do tell.
I think the no holds bar is definitely going to give him some sort of advantage. We always seen Brock Lesnar struggle with smaller opponents, and now he's struggling with now he's going to go into the ring with the smallest of them all. I think this will work, and then they can always just have the match again at Royal Rumble. But I do see I would like to see Rey Mysterio take it.
Good Lord, David Arquette is about to be on WWE backstage.
His spot caller alumni.
MJ, what do we think about the build this far, and what do we think who's going to walk out this match?
Basically, with Brock beating the hell out of Ray and Dominic over and over again, Dominic is probably still resting at home from that last one.
Chill, Dominic got to do the Wild Hurricanrana off the apron or something.
The Selena Vega special?
Yeah, shades of Selena.
See, that's the thing. I think that Dominic does get involved in the match somehow. He's going to either distract Brock or he's going to hit Brock to kind of get his comeuppance.
Throw some off-blood in the ring or something.
Low blow him.
Ray's going to go crazy. If you've been watching Brock for the past, 2-3 years, if he likes you, he will work for you. And he's been working for smaller guys like AJ Styles, like Finn, like Daniel Bryan, and it'll be the same case here, but I think Brock wins. I think I'm going to go with Brock.
Yeah, I think this is let me just be clear here. Ray is on another level with this program. I think I've liked his promos. I've liked his, I've really, really liked everything about the way they presented Ray. I remember I did not like the way they presented him with Cain Velasquez in the beginning. I hated it. But I think they've rebounded now that Cain is gone for a while, presumably, and they've made Ray look really strong. I think it's going to be a great match. I don't think Ray's kicking out F5 though. So Brock Lesnar.
Oh, he's definitely reversing.
No, I'm not. Whatever you do, I'm reversing. Hell no.
I'm picking Brock Lesnar to win this match too, but it should be a crazy one nonetheless. But that's been Survivor Series, man. I mean, that's crazy. Do you want to do a couple seconds on what Punk just said on Fox? So we just get it out the way. So I'll read what I've been seeing on Twitter. You guys can comment about it. It says Punk emphasizing that he is still employed with Fox and hasn't been in contact with the WWE, so he gets to criticize, WWE. So he is employed by Fox. I mean, if you haven't known yet, not the WWE. He says, in terms of why he's back, he's like, basically Fox offered me a deal, an opportunity. Talk about professional wrestling. That's kind of why he's back. He has said also that his inner circle is very small now. I'm pretty sure this includes his wife.
I'm pretty sure. I believe that. Yeah.
He probably sued everybody else. So
yeah, because the Jacksons are probably trying to get on his phone. Everybody.
The Jacksons.
The Jacksons, right?
I love that name for him.
Let's see. Punk says, I'm at a point in my life where I can pick and choose what I do and don't have to work with jerks. Wonder who he could be talking about. Let's see. Renee asks, who is the strangest person who texted him after last week? Punk says JR, but then says it's because it isn't even strange because he still texts with him regularly. Okay, so JR.
Yeah.
Pretty dynamo.
What y'all got to say to each other?
What's JR sending? What memes is JR sending?
Blue Chew memes.
He's sending him horny Instagram posts.
Oh my God.
You seen this?
Just saying.
JR Corner.
Listen, man, the punk comments, man, like, honestly, sure.
Sure. Renee asks Punk, what does she think? What does he think of the WWE product? He says it's the same as when he left. He thinks wrestling could be so much better, so much more. It's overproduced and micromanaged.
Okay, Moxley.
Yeah.
Again, like, how is this any of this surprising that he would say any of this? This is the same line that every lapsed fan says. So
right, but he gives a plus that the women are so seemingly the plus of what he's learned over the last number of years and starting going back. But he says he doesn't like the women's revolution being branded and shoved down people's throats. He likes NXT because their characters are less tainted. And yeah, let's see.
Wait, whoa. Back up to that whole women's revolution being branded and shove it down people's throat. What a very, like, there are too many women's movie comment type of, is that, what the hell? What?
Very shades of a Reddit user.
This is
shades of an incel. Also, this guy tried to get he tried to get us to chant ice cream bars in 2011. Listen, I'm not listening to a lot of things that he's saying until he steps in the ring. How about that?
He said,
if the men are so good, show them how it's done.
He says never say never. You'll never count him out in terms of returning, especially considering he's in the orbit. He's quite frankly in the orbit. He's there watching professional wrestlers, interacting with professionals on a weekly basis. He's in the orbit, so you never know what could actually happen itself. He says in terms of, he just, I guess he's just generally had an attitude of like, Fox is paying me, so I'm like, I'm here, I'm chilling. And that's what we've heard thus far. They're doing the promo thing. I don't really want to watch it.
Let's just wrap this up.
I love, shout out to everybody. First of all, shout out to MJ and Cyrus. You can listen to the War Report Fridays on the A Show Network, on the A Show RNC Network. Make sure you follow us on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Play, all types of other third parties.
Leave reviews too.
Yeah, all types of third parties where you guys will definitely recap the shows in terms of what's happening on Wednesday. I look forward to see what the hell AEW is up to in this week. What else do we got here? But yeah, thanks for coming through, man. I mean, we predicted the entire card, even the stuff that we don't actually know yet, that we'll find out maybe on Friday, maybe on Saturday, who knows? But yeah, this has been the A Show, man. Is there any final words from J5?
Thank you guys for listening. We will be back next week with all of our Survivor Series reviews and all of our thoughts, and of course, War Report will have theirs. It's been so great that it's like kind of crazy the first time this has happened, but kind of sweet that it happens at one of the everyone's favorite times in the WWE. Thank you all for listening. We have so much stuff coming in the next couple of weeks for the end of the decade. So keep checking out the A Show, and we'll keep bringing you the best and the latest and greatest in pro wrestling.
I'm literally legitimately watching backstage where there's a combined 7 world championships between Booker T and David Arquette. Jesus Christ, this is a lot of star power. With that, we'll be back next week. Thank you guys for tuning in. And of course, happy Rusev Day. We're out.